Hello, everyone. How are you doing? The group stages have successfully finished now. So this will be the last review of how the group stages went. We'll talk about who's gone through to the winner brackets and loser brackets, who did particularly well or badly, who to look out for in either bracket, and yeah, just any added value to this. The groups went pretty successfully. They've gone over. They finished pretty quickly. There are a few teams that didn't turn up, which is a bit unfortunate. So it's not perfect, but otherwise it went very, very well. Now, to begin with, I'll go through each group individually quickly, going through what happened and where everyone will be playing. So, Group A, Disorder won the group. That will be the Till and Spirits team. And Won't Die came second. There's one of these games that hasn't been input yet, but Won't Die has an extra win on here by default. And that means I'm going to try it. Fazkaven came in third place and will be going into the loser bracket. So the bottom two teams, I don't think, played any matches, or maybe they played one match total. And I didn't see it. So there's not really anything for me to say about these bottom two teams. So I'm just going to talk about the top three. So to begin with, the Till and Spirits team played Fazkaven. And Spirits just pressured them and they collapsed. They had a bit of a fight back round two, but really there wasn't much teamwork, there wasn't much of a plan or any structure, and it was just individually they weren't strong enough to keep up with Disorder, sorry. Disorder against Won't Die, it was close until it wasn't. So Won't Die held on defensively really well. They won the first round where Till didn't play, but in the two rounds that Till played, it was close. And then when Till got on top and the momentum went his way and he got a decent lead, he just run riot basically and collapsed them. It was a good game overall, but it did show a weakness of both teams. But Till came out looking fantastic out of that game. And then the final game of these three would be Won't Die against Fazkaven. It wasn't that close. Fazkaven didn't really fight half as well as you'd expect them to or want them to. The two singlers, especially, Sai played really well, but the two singlers just kind of collapsed to the pressure. They didn't put up as much of a fight. They didn't look like they believed they could win that. They looked like they were feeling like they were second best. And it was quite a straightforward victory for Won't Die, and I think it was 2-0. But Fazkavan will be one of the top teams in the loser bracket, so we'll be looking for them as one of the probably maybe the favorite team going into that. Probably. Disorder will be the favorite team in the winner bracket. Won't Die, it's a difficult one. They're up there. How high? It's very difficult to say because individually on paper they're second strongest. But in terms of performance, in terms of how it's going to turn out, little unsure. So going on to Group B, two teams here didn't play any games, which is unfortunate again. Jedi Sentinels and Team Technique, which is a TUA lineup, didn't turn up. So shame on them. But No Surrender won all their games of ease, as you'd expect. But AJC played pretty well throughout as well. So AJC will be going through to the winners bracket. And I don't think either of these two teams at the bottom here are going to play the loser bracket, so it's just Hellfire. I think AJC is going to be maybe the weakest team in the winner bracket, so it's going to be difficult for them. But they are playing NA servers, so who knows? And as for No Surrender, it's very difficult. They never had any big challenge, so it's difficult to engage how good they are. On paper, obviously, they're very good. They've got Barker, Bones, Tomo, and Wrongful. That's very, very solid. They've got some options there. But as I say, not really faced any challenge yet. There's no struggles. So we'll have to see. Going into Group C, this was the closest group by far, with three teams all finishing with 2 wins and 1 loss. Cerberus beat Bastard, but lost to SPQR. SPQR lost to Bastard, but beat Cerberus, and therefore Bastard beat SPQR and lost to Cerberus. The reason why Bastard mentioned is in third place is because they had the worst round difference. They won 4 rounds and lost 4 rounds, whereas we both won 5 and lost 3. And then Cerberus won on frag difference. They fragged a lot more than we did. I think Cerberus are one of the most improved teams. They're one of the teams that can surprise. They just got Mags back, and with Kane playing some of the best I've seen him play in years, they could be really, really effective. It depends on the matchup, really. And for my team, SPQR, I would say we struggled to play as well as we have done in Prax. And as I say, I've been away and stuff like that, and there's been difficulty with little bits of activity at times. So we haven't gone into our stride. That's not an excuse. It's just I think we can do a little bit better than we have. But technically, neither of us will be one of the top teams in the winner bracket. As for the loser bracket, Bass and Munchen is going to be one of the strongest teams in the loser bracket. But they let themselves down a little bit. It looked like they didn't play as seriously as they could at times. And for OP, they could have won all 3 of their games, but they couldn't get it over the line. They collapsed at times. So even though they lost all 3 games and it looks like they got dominated, they didn't. And it was really, really close for pretty much all the games. And so they could be one of the stronger teams in the loser bracket as well. Going into Group D, one of the most impressive teams will be Team Ukraine. They'll be up there. They'll be looking to at least get to that final and try and be the best team. Team Clean, difficult to say. Kangax didn't turn up, by the way, the Spanish team. Clean were a team that got absolutely smashed by Ukraine on the EU round, but because of the experience and because of how they played, they made it very, very close for round 3, which is a split between EU and NA. So they're not a team you can count out, and it's always tricky playing NA. So even though you would argue Ukraine is definitely a stronger team than Clean, it was only won by 1 frag in the final round, and so it's very difficult to judge. So they're a big question mark at Clean. They could do very well, or it might not go well for them. Who knows? Very, very difficult one to predict. Haste got back Orange, a player called Orange, too late to play in the group stage, but he'll be there for the playoffs. He's a boost for them, quite a big boost for them. So Haste, I think, will be one of the strongest teams for the loser bracket, along with Scythe, Thunder New, and Bastard Munchen. Yeah, I think they'll probably be the 3 strongest teams. And for the winner bracket, Team Ukraine, Don't Die Hard. No, Won't Die. And Disorder will probably be the 3 strongest teams in that. And going into the final group, we've got default team, which is Terra, Howley, Rap, and Brave. Won this quite easily, but it wasn't a great performance from them. Solid wins, but nothing spectacular. The teamwork wasn't fully there. It wasn't a top performance overall. Executors played well. They're one of the most improved teams. I think they could surprise in the winners bracket, and I'm glad they made it to it. And I think depending on who they play against, who their matchup is, they could surprise a few teams. Seventh Sky started to get into it well. They had a bit of a rocky start, and it was a bit all over the place, I guess you'd say. But I think they could do pretty well in the loser bracket. They started to play a bit better, started to get a bit more organised. And Team Baguette, even though they've come off with no wins, they did get close a few times, and they had some really good individual performances. But as a team, they're just simply not ready yet to win consistently or anything like that, or to make any difference. So yeah, there you got it. I think we've got some really, really good teams in the playoffs. The winners bracket, I think, has some really, really strong teams. We are missing one or two that are in the loser bracket that may have otherwise made the winner bracket, but I don't think it's many. One, maybe two. Yeah, and I think it's going to be really, really interesting. And we all hope there's some underdog play there. We all hope there's some upsets. We don't want just the standard on paper teams just to go through easily with no problems or anything like that. So, yeah, everyone do everything they can, get some upsets in there and make this more fun. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Looking forward to the brackets. The brackets should come up in the next few days, and I'll make a video about that. Otherwise, thanks for watching and peace out.